I have no idea.
I don't know.
Something cool? I don't know.
I mean, am I a pessimist or am I an optimist? That's the real question.
Whatever we want it to look like.
The building environment of the future is shiny.
Like what Madonna would describe, shiny and new.
I imagine it to be silver and shiny with flying cars, to be honest. That's like a 10-year-old Marina answer, but that's still how I see the built environment of the future, way out there. We're moving to Mars.
I don't actually think there is a built environment in the future. I think the world might end.
The built environment of the future is off-grid, it's sustainable.
Similar to what it is right now.
I think it's definitely going to have to acknowledge technology at some point.
I'm sure that it'll involve more technology, so I hope that it aims to involve more human interaction with that. It's not just people looking at their phones as much, but people being engaged with their built environment.
Like virtual reality or some apps that people can drop random furnitures in a virtual space.
I think it's going to be a lot like the old generation looking at iPhones and not understanding how to use it, but the new generation, it's just like so completely clear.
It's going to lead more into parametric design.
Be like the nexus of Art Lubet's drawings and Donna Kopkova drawings. Of like super banal but colorful and very strangely ecological and doesn't make sense.
It's gonna be bubbles that are spacecrafts that they ship us out.
All of the Black Mirror episodes.
Everybody gets a bubble pod. Depending on where you are in the class system that we've developed 20 years from now, will determine whether or not you get a lasso or a cord that connects you to be pulled back.
I think realistically everything will just kind of overflow with water, potentially even just like natural. The natural environment will just start to take back things.
Probably a lot of plants.
So green. Just green.
Hybrid buildings and mixed use.
Seeing buildings that clearly were designed to be one thing, turning into other things. I see that happening a lot in the future.
Maybe it'll be just like a lead full of just smaller buildings.
Similar to I guess now, but starting to better integrate the different parts of life. So right now there's a lot of segregation, whether it's through people or in terms of activities, and starting to integrate them.
I think there's always going to be shitty architecture in spaces and cities, so that's something to look forward to.
If people just pay the fuck attention to what is in front of them, then like maybe the built environment of the future would sort of be more, I don't know, integrated or like accessible or I don't know, democratic. But I do think that I am relatively a pessimist, and I don't believe that that's like the direction things are headed.
I would like to think more intersectional in terms of not only the people who are participating in creating architecture, but, and again, kind of getting to like who it's for and where it's placed. It's a little bit idealistic, but I'd like to think that it's a space that everyone can start taking more activism in.
I can just imagine like high rises and like, you know, glass, metal, wood, and some kind of combination that was really sleek and cleaner, but that's only hopeful. I don't know.
I wish we could kind of like figure out a way where we don't end up filling the land with like skyscrapers, because we're running out of land as day by day.
One of my like favorite quotes is, I think it's Norman Foster. He talks about like the role of an architect being someone who like designs for the present while like having a sort of consciousness of the past, but for a future that is like essentially unknown. So I think that I'm not in the position to say what it's going to look like.